Hi everyone, it's time for another ScrawlrBox, so let's open it and find out what supplies I'm gonna work with today. Also, if you would like to try out ScrawlrBox yourself, I will have a link in the description box below, along with a discount code for you guys to use. Ooh! It's purple. Only seeing this scene so far, I get a feeling that it might be watercolors. I think I say that every time. It might be watercolors, but yeah, let's check it out. Yeah, look at this, the featured artwork. It looks very watercolorish. This beautiful piece is made by Arlisha Yetzer, and this is where you can find their art. I love the soft look of this. Also, this is the box of May. I still haven't fallen too far behind. Then we also have a watercolor paper pad. I love these little paper pads, and it got just the right amount of texture that I like. And then we got... oh, this is a very flat package. We got the sticker, and I get kind of a 80s vibe from this. Oh, I first thought that this was the candy, but this is the candy. Yeah, let's start by checking this out. Just looking at it, it kind of looks like dirty colored paper. But this is a ScrawlrBox exclusive Peerless watercolor palette. Peerless, I'm not sure if that is how it's pronounced, but anyway, I have heard of these but never tried them out. I remember in the beginning when I was promoting the Viviva watercolor sheets, and a lot of people mentioned these, that this is the same concept. Do I dare open these? It seems like there is a lot of dust inside. Oh, look at this, all metallic. This side with the text might be the back side, and this is the side with the actual watercolors on it. Look at that, all shimmery. 12 different colors. They don't look very colorful on the color side though. The pattern on this one's like crystals. I'm gonna put these in the bag again, just to protect myself and everything around me. Let's have a look at the other supplies too. We got a paintbrush. I got a flat pointy bristle. I don't think I've seen one of these before. This is a Sun Custom angled brush. Then we got a super chunky mechanical pencil. Got a little button on the side where you press out the lead. My fingertips are so dirty. I'm just gonna go clean up. Nice and clean. My fingers got stained though by the paint sheet. Anyway, we got the mechanical pencil, a Pentel Side FX 0.5. So you can twist it to bring out the eraser. And we got this yellow little square, which is a kneaded eraser from Brinsil. You can shape it in any way that you like, and you can dab it on the paper or just make it into a ball and roll it over to lighten up the graphite lines if you want to add line art or something. But yeah, that are all the art supplies. Also, look at all these vibrant colors that you can get from these color sheets. I've left fingerprints everywhere. I'm gonna swatch these, but first let's take a look at the prompt, which is flowing figures. Take inspiration from the whimsy of surrealism. First, let's swatch the watercolors. Also, if you struggle with using the art supplies in these boxes, there are always some great tips and tricks how to use them in this scene, so I can really recommend checking that out. But for now, I'm just gonna keep the paints on it. Let's try out the pencil first. I apparently forgot to press record on the camera when doing the swatching of the art supplies, but yep, here it is. The beautiful colors. Look how colorful they are. I love them. Yep, tested out the pencil. It is great. It is a pencil. The paintbrush is very interesting since it is so pointy and flat. So you can get kind of these pointy paint strokes. And if you hear any noises, it is only Phoenix being a... And also the eraser was great at picking up the graphite. But yeah, let's get on with the rest of the video. Okay, so I was a little intimidated about these big sheets of paint that is taking up almost all my workspace. I could only imagine how messy it would be when adding water to them. Also, I would touch them and transfer these paint dust fingerprints to everything. So I decided to make my own paint palette. I have these sheets that used to be the backing paper of adhesive plastic sheets. It is probably silicone coated or something, so it is water repellent, which is perfect. So what I do is that I cut pieces from the paint strips and attach them to the sheet. I also make a little swatch card with numbers on it so that I can easily see what the colors looks like on paper. And yeah, that is that. Hopefully it will be a lot less messy. I am really happy with this little solution of making my own paint palette. So I think I have an idea what I want to make. I recently was reminded that I used to make these cat bookmarks in watercolors that I used to sell on Etsy many years ago. I even have a video on it if you want to check it out. It is a really old one, old school YouTube. And basically how I created these bookmarks is that I took some water and I painted these cat shapes. Looks a little pinkish, but I noticed that the red and the pink colors was very hard to wash out from the brush. And yeah, I'm doing this. We're making cat bookmarks. As you may remember, the prompt is flowing fingers, and that is what got me thinking of making some bookmarks for this challenge, because now when we got the water on the paper, I'm gonna pick up some paint and then dip it in the water and let the paint spread. So the paint will just spread out in this cat shape that I painted with the water by itself. A little bit of purple maybe. Yeah, I'm basically just playing around with the paint, letting it do its thing. Maybe I should just leave it like that. That is one of the things, you don't want to over mix it. You want to have these interesting textures. So what I'm gonna do now is to create some little whiskers. There we have our first little kitty. Yeah, let's make another one. I want to make a few of them. Maybe this one could be another shape. I think even if the paper is kind of warping from all the water, it's holding up pretty well. So let's start with a bit of red. These paints are so freaking pigmented. Then we don't have an orange, so maybe we can mix a little bit of... Actually, I can just mix it on the palette here. Bit of a dirty orange, but slightly orange, I suppose. Because I'm doing this wet on wet technique when adding the water first and then the paints. It is a bit difficult to control where the paint will go. Gonna try to blend them together a bit. I think blue and green might be the easiest colors to blend. Yeah, here we have my first two little flowy kitties. I love them. I'm gonna make a few more. Alright, voiceover me here, along with my neighbor mowing his lawn. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you hear something, that is what it is. I first thought I would do live commentary through the whole video, but it turned out that I ran out of things to say. I'm not really that good at talking while I'm arting. I go into this Zen mode and become so focused at what I'm doing, so I'm not really saying anything. But after last week's video, that was super fun, but also very tiring. It took a lot of brain power, so I needed a little break, so it was nice to just be in my own mind while doing this. So if you want to do some relaxing, mindless doodling with watercolors, I can really recommend you doing this. Also, I would super appreciate if you could leave a like on this video, it really helps me out. Also, leave a comment, maybe let me know which one of these designs that you like the most. As I was explaining before, I just add clean water to the paper and then I dip the paintbrush with the watercolors in it and let the paint spread. I thought it was such a fun interpretation of the challenge, figures made of flowing paint. This is my favorite thing to do with watercolors. It is just so satisfying to see the colors spread out in the water and create all of these different textures and patterns. It becomes its own little world and you can't really control what will happen. I am a very controlling person, I almost said, doesn't sound that good, but I'm a person that likes order and being in control, which can sometimes be a little tiring, so it is nice to let go of that control in my art sometimes. I don't have to plan anything out or do any sketching. Whatever happens, happens. And sure, all of them didn't turn out as great as I imagined, but since I don't really spend that much time on each of them, it doesn't really bother me. I have to say that the DIY watercolor palette worked really well, and it worked great to mix the paints on too in the middle, and I think you could do this yourself if you don't have these silicone coated sheets. You could also use a little thicker cardboard paper maybe. The only thing that I need to figure out though is how to switch out the used sheets with new ones when I used up all the paints, but I guess I can just remove the staple and attach a new one. I did run out of yellow pretty quickly, I noticed, even if I didn't use it a lot. But the watercolors themselves were great, so bright and vibrant. I really liked how they mixed together too. They created this soft, feathery texture that looked so beautiful. I think the paper was really good too. It held up so well with all the water. It did warp a little, but considering that I didn't tape down the paper first, it wasn't too bad. Even if I really love how most of them turned out, I felt like some of them needed something a little extra. You might say I just needed an excuse to bring out my starry and gem color metallic paints. I love these paints. I have many art supplies that I use a little and then I forget about them, but these are so well used, especially the golden paints. I might have gone a little overboard with some of them, but I think it did really improve the more plain designs. It gave them a little extra personality. And look how magical the paint water turned out. Yeah, here they are, and what we need to do now is to cut them all out in order to turn them into bookmarks. I love how they all look together, so colorful. Alright, so into the laminating pouches they go. I don't know why, but I just love laminating stuff. There is something so satisfying seeing the paper and the plastic pouches going in, looking all cloudy, then coming out all flat and crisp on the other side, and they almost look more colorful when laminated. Then, of course, we need to do some more cutting. So here they are, laminated and done. I'm so happy with how all of these turned out, and I think the metallic paint really added a little extra. This one I wasn't that happy with, but then I added these shiny little paw prints to it and now I really like it. And also this one was a little plain from the beginning, but now it got some golden flowers. Though I'm not sure if the gold paint added something to this one. I think I liked it better without the gold paint. This one might be one of my favorites. I really like... Well, don't mind me. Yeah, I just put my thing on the ground. But I really like how this one turned out with the green and the blue and the white of the paper showing through and then having some plants as details. I think I did this one off camera, but I really like this one too. And this was a new kind of design, a little cat paw. And the rainbow one, I added a little gold heart. This one turned out really pink, but I like it. I like the flowers with the little gold centers. This one is also one of my favorites. I'm a little unsure what I think about this one. I think the idea was better in my head, but it is still kind of cute. But yeah, that is all for today. I'm really trying to switch things up to not make it too repetitive, so I hope you really enjoyed this video and the art that I created. And I think I will actually add these bookmarks to my next store update that will happen sometime late June. I will keep you posted with updates though. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks ScrawlrBox for the delicious art supplies. I will see you next time. Keep drawing my happy cats. Bye!